This is number 1 for the guided practice of 12.7. It says measure each object using different units. Circle the unit you need more of to measure each object. Number 1, it is saying let's measure the width of a bookshelf. I do have a bookshelf that I'm going to measure. It's this one here. So when I go ahead and put my meter stick down, if you notice, it's lined up right on the edge with that 0. And you just continue on. That's 10 centimeters, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and looks like it's almost 90. So let's take a closer look at that. And you can see here's 89, there's 89.5 with that longer line, and this is just beyond that 89.5 centimeter mark. So I'm going to say that this bookshelf is 90 centimeters wide. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure the same bookshelf in meters. So here's a picture of the bookshelf with a meter stick on top of it. You can see that the 0 lines up with the edge of the bookshelf, and this line here is the right side of the bookshelf, and you can see that that line, the right side of the bookshelf, is beyond the halfway point. So I would say that this bookshelf is about 1 meter wide. So now we need to figure out which do we have more of. Do we have more centimeters or do we have more meters? Well, 90 centimeters is greater than 1. 90 is greater than 1. So I would say that I have more centimeters. And why is that? Why do I have more centimeters than meters? Because a centimeter is smaller than meters, so we will need more of them. So number 2 in the guided practice is asking me to measure the height of a large cabinet. I don't have a large cabinet in my house, so I am going to measure the height of my door instead. So here's a larger picture of my door, and I went ahead and I used a couple meter sticks. The first meter stick, it's touching the floor where the 0 is on the meter stick. I am using painter's tape to tape the meter stick to the wall so I don't ruin the wall. Painter's tape should be able to come off without taking the paint with it. Right around the doorknob, the height of the doorknob, is where the first meter stick ends. I went ahead and added a second meter stick on top of it, again using painter's tape to keep it to the wall. And if you follow that second meter stick up, you will notice that there is still some space at the top of the door where I'm not measuring it. So how do I measure that small space that's left over? What I did was I took a third meter stick and I put the 0 at the top of the door. My hand is there to help make sure it's even. And that white line is showing me that that space between the top of the second meter stick and the top of the door is 13 centimeters. So how do I find the height of the door in centimeters? Well, I just add everything up. I had 1 meter, which was 100 centimeters. I added another meter stick, so that's another 100 centimeters. And then on top of the second meter stick, you can see that there's 13 centimeters left over. So just add those up. 100 plus 13 is 213 centimeters. So my door, the height of my door, is about 213 centimeters. We're going to do the same thing with meters. I had 1 meter stick. I added another meter stick on top of it. And then there was 13 centimeters left. Well, 13 centimeters is less than 1/2 a meter. So if I'm going to be rounding or estimating, I'm not going to be using those 13 centimeters. So my height of my door is about 2 meters tall. So the final thing we have to do is circle the unit you need more of to measure the door. Do I need more centimeters or more meters? And I need more centimeters. And that is because centimeters are a smaller unit, so I need more of them to measure the same distance. And that is our guided practice.